Welcome to the Way to Be Human podcast. This is a safe space where we embrace the messiness of life, dive into honest conversations about mental health, and talk about what it really means to be human. Today, we're going to talk about how I'm the problem when it comes to dating, but not in the way that you're probably thinking right now. But yeah, let's just get into it. Basically, what I've been wondering about is why does it seem like I am very attracted to emotionally unavailable people, but then I feel nothing when there's someone that's emotionally available? Now, to be clear, my overall goal with dating is to have a connection, to find my person at some point, to be in a relationship. So I'm out here looking for those that are emotionally available and stable. But I keep coming across this weird phenomenon where I am significantly more attracted to people that are emotionally unavailable. So let's kind of rewind and go back to the person that I've mentioned in the previous episodes. I really fell pretty hard and quickly for them. But here's the thing. I knew at the beginning that they were most likely going to be emotionally unavailable. They were pretty upfront with their current situation and just not having the capacity for something more serious. But I was like, it's fine. We're like very attracted to each other. It's good. It's cool. Telling myself like, I won't get feelings. It's fine. I can do this without feelings. Even though, if you go back to what I was saying, my goal with dating is to not have something without feelings. I want something serious and committed. So this realization of mine has kind of come about in a few ways. So I was in therapy talking about this, and, we got to the point of like, I started to realize that, there's something that seems so scary about going after what it is I really want. And what I really want is, that connection, that relationship with someone. But for me, that feels very scary. It feels easier to potentially go after something that is not that because there's this attraction. So then I started to reflect more on this, of this person in particular. I started to feel like I should not continue talking to other people, really started giving this person a lot of my time and attention and energy, and just kind of always trying to be available in case like they would be available to hang out. And it just wasn't sitting right with me. Like, yes, I'm like very attracted to them. I get all the like butterflies and the nervousness, the excitement. But it just was like weird. I'm like, why am I giving them these like privileges essentially when that's not what this is? That's not what this will probably become. So I decided, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get back on the apps as one does and just like start chatting again with other people. And there's been a couple of people that like very emotionally available, aligned on what we're looking for. They check all of the boxes in just like all of what I'm looking for. And I feel nothing for them. I mean, I'd say to some extent, like I obviously like care about them and wish them well, but there's no butterflies, there's no excitement, there's no like Kinda like that energy of like, "Yeah, I wanna rip your clothes off." Like, that passion, I just don't feel that. So that had me really thinking and really reflecting on this. Like, I think for one thing, with the emotionally unavailable person, that I think is kind of like twofold, right? Like, I kind of did this to myself by attempting to pursue something with someone that like made it clear from the get-go that they were more emotionally unavailable. But also, they played a role in this because some of their behaviors have been a little bit confusing, but that's besides the point. But I'm like insanely attracted to that person. So I haven't been able to figure it out. Like, it's been very frustrating because I'm like, why are there these really good people that are checking my boxes and they're exactly my type? They're everything that I am attracted to. And yet there's no spark. There's no excitement. There's no passion. It's so bizarre. So, with thinking about that and me being the overthinker that I am, I started to then wonder if I'm the problem. And hear me out. I think I'm the problem because I think I've been mistaking attraction for my nervous system being triggered. Now, bear with me because I think this will all make sense. And this, I don't know, for me, feels like I'm in the right space. Like I am really hitting on something here. For context, I had been in a pretty long, multi year situationship with someone that I thought was my person. But there was always this like unattainable bar that if I were to reach these unattainable, unknown standards, we would be in a relationship. And throughout the course of knowing that person, I've seen shifts in themselves and their behavior, and just in our conversations talking about this, where it would always bring me back into it, thinking like, oh yeah, like if I just do X, Y, and Z, if I'm just here, like they will one day realize that they want to be with me and it'll be happily ever after. I think that experience has been, for lack of better words, very traumatizing for me because I think it really taught my nervous system that, like, it really showed me, like, the ups and downs, the, like, 1 minute they're talking to me, the next minute they're not, and, like, weeks go by, and it's just chaotic. It was chaotic and unpredictable. And I think that trained my nervous system to think that that was attraction, when in reality, it was simply just activating my nervous system. And I think this also connects to like attachment styles. I already feel like I have more of an anxious attachment style to begin with. I've done a lot of work. I feel like I've gotten closer to having more of a anxious, secure attachment style, but I'm just an anxious person. So it makes sense that that would be my attachment style. And this has happened to me before. I've noticed this, like, people that are emotionally unavailable are the ones that I tend to be the most quote unquote attracted to. And then folks that are emotionally available, I am just like, I could care less. Like, there's nothing there. And it's all just, this is all eye opening, don't get me wrong, but it's also so fucking frustrating because I now am sitting here questioning, like, what is attraction? I feel like this is kind of like a new lease on life in a sense, but also I'm like, what the fuck does this mean? Because if that spark, those butterflies, that excitement, that passion was something I've been misinterpreting as compatibility when it's just been a nervous system response, then what? What I can't even formulate words because this feels so wild to be thinking about, to be thinking at almost 30 that I now am like, well, do relationships make you feel anything? I mean, I think they do. I think they're meant to, I don't even know. Like, is the attraction actually when they're not activating my nervous system? Like, is that what I need to retrain myself on? I don't know. I mean, I'm 100% going to talk about this in therapy. I think we've already talked about it before in therapy, but I think it hits different when you're at a place where you're like recognizing it, at least for me in my journey. Yeah, like I can completely understand where all of this comes from for me. I mean, even just outside of that situationship, just my upbringing, my childhood have all lended a hand to having like an anxious attachment style. And just even thinking about like when I got to the age of dating, like I would say most of my dating experiences were very nervous system activating. So, yeah, and then you add in like the fantasies and the rom-coms and, all of that fun stuff that give you, I think, to an extent, unrealistic expectations. But I just don't know where to go from here. I think I'm really stumped on understanding what attraction is. And I'm such a person where I go based off of feelings. I would say informed feelings, like I do consider thoughts and stuff. I don't just simply act based off of how I'm feeling, but my emotions play a big role for me. So, how do I know I'm attracted to someone if there's no feeling involved? Man, this is heavy. I don't know. I guess I'll have to do a part 2 to this. I'm very curious what my therapist will say. Yeah, I guess like what I can offer at this point is that I am now really in a place where I am really trying to learn and understand, you know, how to distinguish what real safety is from nervous system excitement. And that hopefully with doing that, I will be able to kind of shift what is attraction? I don't know. I might have to do some Googling of this because I am really stuck on that. Yeah. I mean, I know the whole thing of like emotionally available people like can be boring, but that boring is like good. It's like safety, it's stability. I get all of that. But now I feel like I really I really get it. Up until this point, I've been saying I get it, but now I'm like, oh no, I'm feeling it. Like I understand. Yeah. So I guess where I'm at right now is I am working to redefine what attraction feels like. Because the butterflies are cute, but stability is sexy, right? That's what we're ultimately after. I mean, I leave y'all to reflect. Have you ever mistaken anxiety, nervous system activation for attraction? Feel free to let me know. You can reach me at waytobehuman@gmail.com. Yeah, I guess that's where I'm at. I guess I'm gonna maybe try to do some Googling now because I got several days before therapy, but I am just out here sorting through the chaos, trying to choose peace over panic. I think it's going well. Hopefully, y'all find this relatable. But as always, I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you being here. And remember, way to be human.